Good evening, folks, and welcome to Everyday KT number 32. First off, happy birthday to the Brotherhood of the Kilt. 10 years old. 10 years ago today, I started this little shenanigans, and here we are. 10 years. Not many things last that long, and I'm pretty proud of it. And I know that there's a bunch of merchants and members and folks who've just been along for the ride who have had some success just from hanging out with us, be it personal, professional, business, whatever. Who knows? And yes, I am barefoot and my hair looks like crap because I spent the whole day shoveling snow and running a snowblower. So I said, screw it, my kilt, my house, my rules. I just said to hell with it. So today we are talking about kilts, and we're talking about kilt quality specifically. As many of you know, you can spend anywhere from $50, even 20, depending on where you're looking, to, I don't know, $1,000 to get a kilt. But what are you actually getting? So when you're looking at these high-end kilts that cost a very significant amount of money, you should look for hand-sewn everything. You know, the higher the cost, the less machines involved. You want the set to match perfectly. All of the leather is supple, thick, and very well attached and placed. Everything should be as close to perfection as is humanly possible. That's at the high end of the scale. At the low end of the scale, well, we've all been to Walmart. We know what the low end of the scale looks like. It's exactly, you get what you, it's a very much a get what you pay for. Now, that doesn't mean don't buy kilts at the lower end of the scale. You can get a very good quality kilt for $100. The one I'm wearing now didn't cost much more than that, and I'm very, very happy with it. But you still need to know where you're getting your kilt from. I made sure that the folks who made this one at Got Kilt, you know, they have a very keen eye for quality and making sure that what the customer is expecting is what they're getting. So I actually have some examples of both ends of that spectrum, and I'm going to walk you through exactly what it is that we're talking about here. So the first one, this is going to be this right here. As you can see, it's Brotherhood of the Kilt Tartan. It is box pleated in the back. And the reason I bring this up is this is my gold standard of quality kilts. This was handmade by Matthew Newsom back in 2008 when we registered the Brotherhood of the Kilt Tartan. This was, at the time, if you wanted to register a tartan, you had to show commercial viability, so you had to have something made. That was this. This is a handmade, custom weave. This was the very first weave. I think there were only about 5 yards woven, so they had to hand weave it, or as close to hand weave as possible. And then he handmade this kilt for me. This thing is what I would call the epitome of awesome. I'm not a big fan of box pleats, just because I wreck them horribly, but the kilt itself is flawless. You know, this is coming up on 9 years old. There's not a single fray anywhere. As you can see, everything on the front, it's crisp. The pleats are a little beat up because I did wear this a lot when I first got it, but there's not a single kilt or a single thread that's torn. All of the stitching is perfect inside and out. You can see where here, even the leathers on the inside are hand sewn. You can see all of that right here. This thing is what I would consider, you know, this is a testament to attention to detail. So now this is, you know, this is what I would love to get another kilt of this quality, but I bought it when we registered the tartan. That was very, very, very expensive. I think it was something to the tune of $1,000 to have this kilt woven and registered with the tartan registry in Scotland. So that's out of the ballpark for a vast majority of people. So the next kilt I have is this one. As you can see, it looks very Christmassy. This is my McTavish Tartan 1850 variant. This is a very rare kilt, the tartan anyway. It's in the old and rare classification for just about every kilt maker I've seen. It was made by House of Edgar, the Edgar of Scotland, and it is a full 8-yard, 8-ish yard kilt, and it's awesome. Again, there was a little bit of machine sewing, but the kilt itself is just amazing. It has everything that I look for when I'm looking for a quality kilt. All of the set is perfect. I've worn this a ton, and with the exception of the center, all of the pleats are still intact. And this thing I've probably had for 7 or 8 years. Maybe even longer than, actually no, I think I've had it longer than my first Brotherhood of the Kilt kilt. This one, you can even see on the inside, it has the dimensions handwritten, of the measurements of the kilt handwritten. So this would be my second favorite kilt of everything that I own. It is what I wear when I go to formal events. It is what I wear if I have to go to someplace fancy, or obviously for all the Christmas events. So this thing is second, and it's awesome. It doesn't get a lot of wear because, again, this one I think was about $6.50. I traded it for some work. So I got this, and the other person got a website back in the day. So he got the better end of the deal on this one, at least at the time. So this is still an amazing kilt. On the high end, price-wise, this is what they would consider a bespoke kilt. I sent them my measurements, and they made me a kilt in this fashion. So again, awesome kilt. I know exactly where it came from. Very cool. Now, we are going to go to the other end of that. We're going to go to the other end of the spectrum. I've got a pair of kilts here that I do not wear at all. They are crap. And it pains me to say so because they are my Brotherhood of the Kilt Tartan. One of them, I'll show you, is this right here. You know, it doesn't look too bad at first. Let me get it situated. It doesn't look bad at first, but after having held those other two, it just something doesn't seem to quite right. So the first thing I noticed right off the top is on my other kilts, what they do is they take the tartan and they cover around the top. Both of them have a lip around the top of the kilts that are actually tartan that the kilt is. This has some kind of weird satin. I'm not sure what. I think that's just some kind of satin. So the other thing is that when I hold it up to the light, I can see right through it. So it's a very loose weave. That in itself isn't that big of a deal. But combine that with this, which are the leathers. These leathers are very, very flimsy. They're very thin, and they're very firm. Now, firm on their own is okay for new kilts. Some kilt makers source their materials from companies that do have firm kilt straps, but they break in and they're fine. These are very narrow, very, very thin. If you look, you can see how thin that is. Very thin. It's thinner than all of the rest of my kilts. And the metal on these, it feels like cheap pot metal. And it's just, it feels like burlap almost. So I was very disappointed in this one. The worst part about this is that they did something when they were doing the weave. I don't know if, I hope it comes through, but if you'll notice, some of those are yellowish. All the blue stripe have turned yellow. So they did something, and I don't know what that is. But you know, I'm not trying to wear a yellow. There's no yellow in my tartan. There's no yellow in the Brotherhood of the Kilt tartan. None at all. So I don't know what on earth is going on there. And it's weird because it follows those blue stripes. So something very crazy there. So this is one crap kilt. This was probably closer to the $50 a piece. This next one is the bottom of the barrel. Again, I'm disappointed because you can see Brotherhood of the Kilt Tartan. Not happy about it. The metal, it's not too bad. It's very heavy, but the stitching is really weird. On my other kilts, you have this, like I was saying earlier, you have this piece that goes around the top. I can feel that it's really thick here, thick, where the top of the kilt is, but all of a sudden right here, there's nothing. It's like it's not even held on. So I flip it around to the inside, and look at that. I hope this comes through. You can see. Yeah, it was hand done, but I mean, I just touched this and it came right apart. I have not ever worn this kilt, so this was pretty much straight from the maker. It is extremely large. The pleats, let me see if I can do this so you can see it. Here we go. The pleats are very deep, so there's loads of fabric, but the craftsmanship is horrible. The worst part, okay, so here's another thing I forgot to mention. Look at that. Right there, they just slapped a couple pieces of fabric together. Right there on the top, you can see. So the worst part about this whole kilt has nothing to do with how they sewed it. It was just the piss poor way in which they made it. Now, if you see the kilt I'm wearing now and all of the other kilts I've shown you, the sets are consistent. All of them. And with the Brotherhood of the Kilt Tartan, it says it right here. You'll have... Okay, it's not in there. Okay, so... Right here. Right here, blue, 20 blue, 10 red, 20 blue. Right there, right? 10, 20, 10, 20. So... I'm sitting here, and this is, of course, the demo kilt that these people sent me. Okay, this is the apron. Let me just grab the apron. Check that out. I don't know about you, but that does not look like a consistent set. They wove the thing wrong. Horrible workmanship. And I mean, this is just icing on the cake, but look at the straps. Literally just pieces of leather they just chopped, cut, threw holes in, and slapped it on. So this, I mean, this one, if it wasn't my own tartan, it would have been torn to pieces already and used for something else. But because it was one of the first attempts I had at getting it made, I had to keep it. So what does all that mean? You know, you've seen a couple of really nice, very well done kilts, and you've seen two pieces of crap that I wouldn't give to anybody. I wouldn't give them to my dog. So what that means is there are a lot of fabulous companies out there that do bespoke kilts, you know, very expensive, very well made, and they're amazing. Those are the ones that you see at weddings, parades, big to-dos of whatever type you can imagine. The other end of the spectrum I showed you were the, let's throw 5,000 of these at a Renaissance festival, and if we sell 100, we've made our money. Both of them are bad, you know, and that just doesn't work. So those first two kilts, you know, wet the whistle, did it? I'm sorry. Those second kilts, I didn't do my research. I did not do as much research into where the kilts were coming from as I should. So how does that apply to you as the kilt purchaser? Someone who's going out there looking to take their hard-earned money and throw it into a kilt. Research, and oh yeah, research. Know who is making the kilt you're wearing. For the bespoke kilts, you can usually talk to the person who's actually going to sew your kilt personally. It's kind of cool. I'd suggest doing it. I talked to Matt several times before he made my kilt when we were going along that process of registering our tartan. The cheaper kilts, you probably don't have that luxury. So what I highly suggest you do is talk to the people who are importing the kilts from wherever they're coming from. If they're coming from the States, somewhere in Scotland maybe, somewhere else, who knows? Especially the $100 kilts are usually going to get something that's all machine sewn. But there's a caveat to that. See, with these cheaper kilts, there are a good number of very reputable kilt makers out there who spend an inordinate amount of time on quality, because you can find cheaper kilts that are less money but of similar quality to the handmade stuff. I'm not saying that they're close, or not even in the same ballpark usually, but the sets are always right. The leathers are always good. The stitching is not crap. The fabric is well made and it's woven properly. You know, like I said, the one I'm wearing now only costs about $110. This was on the lower end, but this is what I wear all the time, and I wear in a lot of my videos. This one, or I've got a couple other ones just like it. And I wear it because I believe it is a quality kilt, and I support the company who makes it. The other ones, like I said, I don't, because of those reasons. So you can find kilts made for cheap that are really good quality. There are probably 5-10 different companies out there that will make a very good quality kilt for around $100, and you're going to get something that you're comfortable wearing, and in many cases proud to wear around. Some people can't tell the difference between a $100 kilt and a $500 kilt, especially a $500 kilt, especially if they don't really know kilts very well. The beauty of these cheaper $100 kilts is that you can go to the bar and not really worry about it. You can get a little rough with it. You can throw it in the a tub and wash it the old-fashioned way if you have to. Still no washing machines. Those things eat kilts like Cookie Monster eats cookies. So you can get, and I always suggest this, once you've got your first kilt bought and out of the way, I usually suggest a sport kilt because they're really cheap and they're slightly bulletproof. Not actual bullets, but you can't. I've not seen them break very easily. Most of the athletes wear them. Once you're through your starter kilt, the first one you got, you can start looking at these other companies, and you can find out where they make them, where what they're made out of, and you can ask other people their opinions. I know of 2 companies who kind of tried a fast one, and they're no longer with us because they attempted to play the market a little bit and make crap kilts, and oh no, these are awesome. No, you piss off a lot of guys in kilts, and they'll call the BS instantly, much faster than anyone else, especially when you're coming to kilts, because we stand out like sore thumbs everywhere we are. People are going to notice. So if you're wearing a piece of junk, it's even worse. So do your research. If you are looking at companies and you think you found an amazing deal, you're like, oh look, I just found these $59.99 kilts. They're awesome. Don't buy anything yet. Ask somebody who's bought from them before. Actually talk to the person. Don't call the company. Find someone else who bought from that particular company and say, how do you like your kilt? Is it good? Do you still wear it? Do you even own it anymore? Or did you throw it on eBay for $20? Or is it in the doghouse? What's the deal with the kilts? You can ask, in the various Facebook groups over at kiltrock.com if you want. But ask someone. Always ask, because when you spend your $100, you want a kilt like what I've got. You don't want this. Yep, kind of looks the same when you're not paying attention, but you don't want to wear this. You don't want to buy this. No, mine is not bulletproof. It's I kind of like it because it's my own tartan, of course, so I don't beat the crap out of them. No, Mark, it's not. It's not as bulletproof as the sport kilt. Sport kilt's only that. I only say that because they're very thin fabric. They're made to be beat up. They're made for athletes. They're made for the caber tosses and the sheaf toss and all of that stuff. They're made for, like, mud runs even. That's what they're designed for. So you take it off, chuck it in the washing machine, and you're golden. That's why I say that. I have a lot of friends who are athletes, and I've never heard of any of them have problems. My daughter, actually my son has a sport kilt. Gave it to my daughter because he outgrew it. And it's still going. It's probably 5 years old now. It's gone through 2 children. It's not ripped. It's not torn. The pleats are actually still in one piece. So it's a good starter kilt. Or for athletes, hiking, whatnot. So somebody quick pick a volume for Kiltology for tonight. So that's what it is. That's what it is. You know, that's what you need to know when it comes to buying your kilt. Doesn't matter what marketing pitch you're given. Find out where your kilt comes from, who makes it, what it's made out of, and then talk to people who have bought from that kilt maker. You can save yourself a ton of hassle, a ton of money, and things will be good. So, looks like Volume 2 is unanimous today. Where'd I put those? Here they are. So, Volume 2. Ha 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 ha! Kilted Humor. This one, I love this one. This has always been one of my favorites. Kiltology number 261. Kilted Humor. Have you ever noticed that most kilties seem to be in a good mood and appear to be laughing inside about something? This is true. They're laughing at all the guys who are willing to put themselves through the torture and agony of the pants every day. If you happen to be a room full of kilties, it is because there's probably a flask or two floating around and a bonny lass somewhere with a sheepish grin on her face. So there you go. You know, pants have become our personal joke. Inside joke, obviously. So there you have it. Again, research your kilt. Yes, I have a very evil laugh. It's awesome in dark theaters when nobody knows you're there. So, that's it for episode 32 of Everyday KT. 10th anniversary of the Brotherhood of the Kilt. Still going strong. And just for everyone who's still watching, keep an eye on the tail end of the videos from now on. Being it's our 10th year, I've got some shenanigans in the works. And those folks who are actually on and live will reap the rewards. So hopefully I'll see as many of you as possible from here on out. I know I promised a giveaway on episode 50, but that's not going to be the only one. So everyone, until tomorrow, be strong. Put a kilt on.